Hello, folks. This is Joe from MIGeekScene. I'm standing at the Crown Plaza Hotel with Brian and Mark from GrandCon. How are you two doing today?
Doing
Fabulous.
well.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Well, Brian, would you be able to explain what GrandCon is?
GrandCon is a gaming and comic arts convention. This is our third year. Is where you come in and play board games. You can visit artisans of the type for both board games and artists as well. Seminars, workshops, having fun.
Okay, I went last year, and I know I went mainly for the comic book artists because I'm a comic book geek, flat out. And I noticed there was a lot of gaming, and while doing research for my geek scene, I didn't know how big gaming was because that's never been my area of geekdom. I have massive respect for it, but how did you come up with the concept of starting up a gaming and comic book convention?
Well, there's quite a lot of crossover between people who are enthusiasts of both those things, and Brian and I met under a lot of different circumstances.
Over the years, yes.
Had a lot of convention experiences and felt like Grand Rapids was a town where this kind of thing could fly, and it has.
You know, to add into that as well, it was a few years back that I started West Michigan Tabletop Gamers, which is one of the larger board game groups in the area. And that is something that has been a big catalyst that actually pulled Mark and I together even closer for this event. And we saw that aspiration along with, we both appreciate the arts and the comics. And so we just made the magic happen.
Okay, what would you say would be the ratio of gaming to comics at your convention?
95.
Yeah, 95 and 5, 90-10. I mean, to be honest,
Yeah.
we're really trying to make the comic book aspect work big time, but we were pulling in more gamers. And so while there's going to be an artist presence and a comic book presence, it's actually not going to be what it was in past years.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely stemmed away from the actual comic book vendors as much as it was in the past. We just saw that, like Mark said, not to say exactly what he was saying, but you know, as far as how it's all worked out, a lot more gamers that are coming in to have fun with what we have to offer.
Geez, thanks for already going to the next question. Way to segue, Mark. No, in all seriousness, what comic book guest? I promise this whole interview is not going to be about comic books. I assure you. What comic book guest will be at GrandCon this year?
Well, our main comic book guy is Mark McKenna, a 30-plus year industry veteran, inker, probably had his hand on just about every superhero that you know of, as well as Mark Nelson, who is a pretty much world-renowned artist and professor who's coming in to do a private seminar for the folks from Kendall and just purvey his particular type of art.
Okay. What about guests for the gaming community?
We have several coming in. Majority of the guests are coming in are for the gaming, as we spoke about a little bit ago. But we have Mike Fitzgerald, who's designed several board games himself. Wonderful man. We have Jonathan Gilmore, which is known for Dead of Winter, and Vault Wars, which is another one. We also have Ben Harkins coming in, who is co-designer behind that as well. And the list will go on and on from there. As far as crossing both over, though, that's kind of what we were aiming at to begin with, and now it's more along the gaming side. But yes, we still want folks to come in and appreciate the artists and the comics that are here. And in years to come, hopefully we can readapt that into our scheme. But right now, it's the gaming focus.
So no cosplay competition this year.
No cosplay competition this year. Yeah.
One of our big guests, though, someone who kind of crosses over all the genres, the comic books, the art, the creation, and of many varied geek things, a gentleman by the name of Richard Bliss. He is a social media and crowdfunding expert, and we all know Kickstarter. He runs a podcast called The Game Whisperer. Almost forgot that there. And he'll be giving presentations both here and off-site for the convention. So if you are a geek with a dream who wants to see your project come to life, he'd be the guy to come and see.
Actually, I probably should just skip work. No, I'm not going to skip work for those who are watching this, just to go at least attend his panel.
Just leave a box of Band-Aids at work and just come here.
That would be so amazing. They would be gone within a minute. I got shot, but, no, it doesn't work that way.
All right.
Well, where would GrandCon be held this year?
It's going to be held at the Crown Plaza on 28th Street in East Grand Rapids, if you will, of the city. And it is on September 25th through the 27th.
Okay. Are there going to be any games debuting this year? Because I know there are constantly new games out there, and that blew my mind too when I was doing research.
There's a couple of cool things we're doing. One is that this year will be our first ever, if you will, board game design contest, which is awesome. It's sponsored by the Game Crafter. Okay. Along with that, as far as release, there's a game called Vault Wars I mentioned. That should be out approximately the same time as the convention hits, so we're anticipating that, which is nice. And two of the designers are here, which is Ben Harkins and Jonathan Gilmore. So we also have charity events where you can actually sit in and play with them, and then the charity proceeds will go to Helen DeVos Children's Hospital Foundation.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that elsewhere at different conventions, where I've seen you two at. Well, I'm not going to allude to that great bit, but nonetheless. If people wanted to check out more about, no, I'm not going to say that convention. No, if we could check out more about, I am GrandCon. Thank you. For some reason, I was just at another gaming convention, folks. I apologize for my lack of professionalism all the time. But if people wanted to check out more about GrandCon, where could they go online?
Best place to go is grand-con.com. So we're also on Facebook, GrandCon GCA, but main website is grand-con.com.
Yes. If you head there, you can actually tag along to our Twitter and our Facebook from that site as well, which will give you all the other information about our guests, how to register for the convention, all the pricing, everything is there for you.
And what would you like to say to the folks just as we're leaving this interview? The ones that have come before or the ones that are possibly interested after watching this interview?
Tabletop gaming is a growing thing. It's an awesome opportunity to sit around with your friends and have an afternoon or a night of fun doing something you might not have done in a really long time. So if you are at all into the idea, give it a shot.
Brian?
The biggest thing that comes to mind, honestly, is thank you. Thank you for supporting something local and helping us grow. Thank you for supporting, our local charitable partner, which is Helen DeVos Children's Hospital Foundation. Celebration Cinema, we can't forget about them.
Yep,
they are
our
presenting sponsor. KDL, local library system, is also sponsoring as well. So there's several accolades that need to go out, and for the people that come in and want to have fun, thank you again, and we're doing the best we can to make it as exciting as we can.
Well, I wish you guys continued success, because I had fun for the brief times I was there last year. I had to cut out early to go to a wedding on Saturday. I wasn't able to come back on Sunday. But nonetheless, from my point of view, even though I'm not into gaming so much, I still had a good time talking to numerous people, and everyone was so cool, and it was an awesome event from my perspective as a non-gamer going into that area. But nonetheless, thank you, gentlemen, for granting this interview. I certainly appreciate it. Folks, this is Joe from MIGeekScene, standing here with Brian and Mark of GrandCon. Take it easy.